if you start eating healthier, your body will go to its optimal weight.
Yeah.
Like, stop focusing on weight loss. Focus on just being healthy. Your body
like what
will
you're
shed,
putting in your body.
Yeah, your body will shed the weight that it needs to shed. It's really as simple as that. So when we focus on just losing weight, we forget about all the other systems in our body that also function.
I think we forget that our bodies were like made perfectly. Do you know what I mean? They're made to function perfectly without like updates, without any of that
all
shit.
these
So when we
stuff,
started adding things in, and it's like, no, don't eat that fruit, eat this synthetic sugar protein bar that's so much better for you. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Welcome back to All Over the Place with Layne Fable. I'm your host, Layne Fable, and we've got a little upgrade with the podcast. I still haven't fully figured out.
Oh, that's all that does that. Cool.
This shit, yeah. Okay, let me know if you notice any difference at all. I think it sounds so much better, but we'll see.
Sounds nice.
So today we have Ellie on the podcast, and she is a holistic fitness trainer.
What do I do?
You're good.
Who am I?
An advocate for clean and toxin-free living, and currently my favorite person to follow on Instagram.
Oh my God.
Ellie.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Okay, so this is the first time we're meeting, so we kind of like talked for a little bit off of
and
camera.
I brought beverages.
Yes.
She didn't know if what she should give me, which I feel like people always get that with me. They're like, what does she eat? And I'm like, I'm a normal person.
Okay, but it's just because let me just preface this with everything that I do now, there's like a filter of what Ellie has posted that I'm like, wait, like the tea bag, I should have loose tea, like this.
Which one do we do?
And I look at every ingredient label. So she brought beverages, so I'm like,
so like this isn't like sponsored or anything, but I'm like obsessed with these like digestive sparkling tonics, if you call it, like whatever you want to call it, from Olipop. It's not everybody likes, like I've given this to some people are like, oh my God, this is crack, and then other people are like, I don't really know. So I brought 2 flavors, and the main question I asked people to determine which flavor to give them, and you have to be honest, do you enjoy flat soda?
Do you enjoy flat soda? No.
No? Okay, so this is the one for you. Because this literally tastes identical to flat soda, and I love flat soda.
What flavor is that one?
This is called Vintage Cola.
What did I just... okay.
And that one's ginger lemon. But this literally tastes like flat soda.
I'm literally drinking ginger lemon tea over there, so this is perfect.
Oh, I think you'll like that one. Wait, I can't open
Thank
this,
you,
so
first of all.
Crack that for me.
I've never had someone bring me a gift on the podcast.
Yeah, it's healthy gifts. I just like these...
we both had our own metal straws, too.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
Oh, that's good.
You like that?
So it supports digestive health, I see.
Yes, they have so many like herbs and roots in them that just support the stomach, and it's just way easier than other sodas that just tends to be like a little bit more intense. But
well, it's really interesting because granted, you do not know this about me, but I don't think even anyone following really knows this about me. I'm a huge foodie, but I've had like stomach problems, issues, gut issues, everything, because like I'll be stupid bloated, just feel nauseous sometimes, like out of nowhere, but mainly it's bloating, and I've narrowed it down to soy. So I don't eat any soy, like I found bread without soy in it. I found everything that kind of doesn't have like soy lecithin, or I don't know if I'm saying that right, but all of those things. And I don't know, now following you on Instagram, I'm like, wait, there's so many other things that probably were contributing and still doing it.
Oh my God. I get like such like loaded questions because people will DM me and be like, so how do I cure my gut health? And I'm like, bruh.
You're like, you should pay me for that.
Yeah, like where do we start? Because there's just so many things. But yeah, like when people don't understand exactly like what I do, and they're like, what's the difference between you and like a holistic fitness, like what's between you and like what other like IG trainers do? Yeah. And I guess like the main difference is I look at people's health and fitness goals from all standpoints, right? Because just going from like, you know, you order a, you know, whatever, like a fitness plan or something online. And it's mostly like, okay, this is how many calories you're going to eat, and this is the workout plan you're going to do. So good. It's so good, right? Oh my God.
I'm going to finish it in a second.
That's me. So I chug these bad boys down. I'm like, crack addict. Yeah, it's so good. So yeah, so people will just like order a thing, and they're like, all right, this is how many calories you eat, and this is how many workouts you have to do a week, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, but like what about everything else that you're doing in a day? Like what about your relationship with food? Like that's a big one. You know, how many people suffer with you know, binging and
like, are you stressed when you eat? Are you eating to nourish your body?
Are you eating fast? Out of, like, that's such a big one.
My dog, Nova, literally eats her food in under 5 seconds. And, like, I know people like that. Like, I always say to my boyfriend, Kevin, I'm like, your one bite is 3 of my bites. Yeah. But granted, I mean, he's probably healthier than I am. But regardless, like...
We don't want to talk about it.
No, still, we don't want to talk about it. But no, it is true. Like, there are so many factors to it. And I've had personal trainers in the past. And I've eaten much better in the past. But... you just realize like there are so many different pieces of the puzzle, and I think if you don't look at it holistically, there is no point in doing it. Is what I've learned from her Instagram.
That's just like, and it's crazy because like when I first started I started as a personal trainer first. I started 7 years ago, and I got my NASM certification, which is like the most elite certification you could ever get. And I was like, now like 7 years later, I'm like, what the hell did I even learn with that? Like, it was such a waste of $400 to $600 because I had to like renew it and crap. But I was like, that was such a waste of my money, because literally all it teaches you is like, this is how much water you should drink. No regard for like quality of water, minerals in your water. This is what kind of workouts you should do. Not even taking into account like, are these good workouts for where I am in my cycle, like my period cycle, for all my ladies out there. Like, there are certain workouts that you should be doing depending on where you're at in your cycle, you know.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah, and then it's like, you talk about, that doesn't talk about anything about quality of food, ingredients in your food. And it's like, so many fit people that I know, and you see all these photos like on Instagram, and it's like me 3 seconds before eating and then me 3 seconds after eating, and it's like their stomach is this big, and I'm like, that's actually a problem.
Yeah,
like that's not something to glorify. Like, that's actually like a serious problem that can lead to like more serious issues later on in life. Like, yeah, we're young, we could kick it, like okay, cool, we get bloated now, but like, what is all that inflammation in your gut gonna do when you're 50, 60, 70 years old?
Also, not gonna lie, but I used to be able to eat whatever the fuck I wanted, whenever, 2 a.m., like anything. And I think I hit like 25, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, it actually matters. It used to, like, you don't think about it until it affects you, I feel like.
Yeah, but the thing is more with that is like, people think they could eat whatever they want, because I did the same. I ate whatever I wanted when I was like 15, 16 years old. But the thing is, you're causing so much damage over time that you don't realize it until you're 25, 26. And then when you're 26, you're like, oh, I can't eat how I used to eat before. I'm like, yeah, because you ruined your gut lining.
Yeah, I'm pretty
like,
sure
you ruined your gut lining. So,
wrecked it.
Because now, like, I can truly eat like most things that I want to eat, you know, without like a lot of setback. But do I want to eat like that? Absolutely not. Like, I just don't care to.
It's really interesting because, well, first let's start, because you mentioned how did you kind of get into this holistic? Like, was there a certain point that kicked off this consciousness of it, or have you always been into that?
I definitely have not always been. Oh my God, no, not at all. I wish that would have been great. I would have saved me a lot of issues in my life. But no, I started technically, so I've been obviously a fitness trainer for 7 years, but I've been like in health, like the health holistic side of it, for about 2 now. So and it all started because of being on birth control for about 8-9 years, and just getting so many just terrible side effects from it that were, you know, I would go to the doctor, and she'd be like, oh, it's normal to feel like this, it's normal to feel like that. And I'm like, this isn't normal. I wake up with chronic migraines. And if you don't know, like, a chronic migraine is to be considered a chronic migraine, you have to get at least 15 migraines a month.
Jeez.
So I was waking up every single day with a freaking migraine, and she would change my dosage on hormonal birth control. I'm gonna just let you know right now, low dose, high dose, whatever the hell it is, it's all the same crap.
Oh, she would change it?
She would change. Be like, oh, okay, maybe this. We just need to put you on a lower dose and a lower dose and a lower dose. And it was so weird.
That scares me more than being on one dose.
And
because your body's probably like, what the hell?
Yeah, my body's like, what the hell's going on? And I kept feeling worse and worse and worse. And I was like, oh my God, like, that's like slowly when I started to just kind of put 2 and 2 together. I was like, all right, I feel worse, but my physical health is getting better. Like, I'm getting stronger. I look leaner. I'm a personal trainer. This is when I was working with Kate at Lifetime.
Shout out to Ives.
Yeah, so I was working with her at Lifetime. I was like really fit. I looked great. But dude, my freaking health, like my health was like plummeting, and I was like, all right, I need to get off. So that's kind of what triggered me, like diving deeper into like all the different things that can affect my fitness journey and just my health in general.
So that's one of the things I think most drew me to, well, really like everything, because I'm very conscious of like what I eat and what kind of food, although I'm not going to say I'm strict with it. But I'm conscious of it. But I've been on birth control for like 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I've been contemplating getting off of it for like, I would say a year now.
Yeah.
Like back and forth talks, and so many doctors are like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, but you don't know that. It's because like fine. People really started being on it in what, the like 60s. So it was actually there's not enough. There's not even
it was illegal.
Yeah.
And then they marketed it. This is actually real research, but the birth control pill was illegal at first, and then they remarketed it to say that it mimics the female it mimics the female cycle. So they said, oh yeah, you just take the sugar pill. Just take the sugar pill for the last month, and it mimics the typical 28-day cycle. So they only did that as a marketing tactic. That sugar pill, is wortworthless.
Yeah,
it means absolutely nothing. You don't have to take it. It's actually worthless. There's doctors who think that it's safe.
And like
I worry for you.
People kind of talk to me and they're like, well, if a doctor said that, I'm like, I really don't like one of Illie's things is question everything. Yeah, it's one, that, and two, you can't tell me things that are legal. Like I've thought this prior, and then when I found you and you've posted all of this, like the shit that's in our food that is in our like packaged whatever, like that's how I got into the soy thing, because I was like, anytime I eat something that has a package that's shelf stable, I feel like death.
Yeah, wow.
Like I literally like bloat like crazy. I just feel like sluggish, and then I'm still kind of hungry, and like I just realized, I was like, wait, there's something in there. So then I started reading, but I didn't know, like, I don't know what half of the words that you can't pronounce are. So when your Instagram started explaining them all, I was like, holy shit. Like I used to kind of knock it off if it was like one ingredient I didn't know. I was like, you can have that. But now I'm like, I won't touch it. Yeah. Not to mention, so you want a protein bar, like you can have so many other things that are natural and like put them together yourself at home and just eat it. I don't know. Sorry, we're getting a little off topic. It is called all over the place, but truly like that is something that just be conscious of what it, and like the things that are in our food right now, it's terrifying. Like,
yeah, and a lot of these like ingredients that they put are fairly new, and there's like little, like if you guys actually know how the FDA works, it's actually like a shit show. Like I'm not gonna lie. So like to put it in like easiest, most digestible terms, I would just say like
people terms,
and like everyday people terms, the easiest way to put it is like, let's say I have a company and I want to come out with like this protein bar, right, and I put this chemical in it, so that chemical is going to look like natural flavors or artificial flavors on a label, right? So on a label it'll say natural flavors, artificial flavors. That's why I say like if you're going to start like looking at ingredients, avoid those two. But so for example, like I'm going to put these 3 or 4 chemicals that are lab made, because I know people are like, everything is chemicals. I freaking know everything is chemicals.
That's
like,
the problem.
let's talk about it scientifically. But like lab created chemicals that are synthetic, they'll put it on the label as natural flavors. So now when I have to go to the FDA and get this FDA approved, I, as a company, can hire my own scientists to approve these chemicals that I just put in. And they're going to run tests, and they're going to put this nice little sheet that says, this is safe, there is no harm, this is the perfect study, blah, blah. They give it to the FDA. The FDA reviews it and goes, okay, stamp of approval, and now we all eat it. And then we find out in 5 to 10 years when they actually can have the time, because think about it, the FDA is getting new chemicals daily. Like I think it was something like 3,000 a month they're getting new chemicals getting sent to them. You think they're really going through each one? No, we'd never have companies.
No, and everyone just wants to make money, and then they're
so that's kind of how the FDA process like works essentially. Like it's not as intense as people think, and then years later like they'll do more testing, and they'll be like, okay, this is actually pretty harmful, like we probably shouldn't be eating this, because then individual scientists will look in and be like, okay, like let's actually look into what
or somebody gets sick and they're like, hey, what caused this? And they're like, well, have you been overdoing this like
that's kind of like the Johnson & Johnson thing. Like they got sued for causing cancer, but they have so much money that they just pay everybody out.
It's cheaper to take on the lawsuit than actually stop their like production and sell like 100%. Sales, and that is what is terrifying to me. And now I think some people in my family that don't, and my friends that don't,
they like, need to listen to this.
Exactly, like not subscribe to this, but just don't have like the awareness of it, I guess. They literally think I'm like conspiracy theory, like crazy over here.
Yeah, it's really
and I'm
not.
like, no, like I'm telling you from personal experience, I feel like death when I eat these things. So there has to be something to that.
100%.
Or at least for me.
I always tell people, I'm like, if you don't know how to pronounce something, like if I give you this, if I were to come, most people, if you give something, like, what's in it?
Yeah.
But how come we don't ask that thing when we're going food shopping? Like, we don't ask those questions, like when we go food shopping. I've literally had people on my messages, and they'll be like, oh my God, that milk is bad. I'm like, yeah, flip it over. Flip it over. You can't pronounce half the shit that's in it.
And I'm going to be the first. So this is one of my favorite things that Illy does on her Instagram. You do like...
it's my supermarket clean sweep.
Yeah, she calls them clean sweeps.
I need like a jingle.
I know, right? We got to get a little animation, everything. But she does a clean sweep, so she'll go through, and I know you mostly shop at Whole Foods, I feel like, right?
Honestly, I switch it up. So it depends really what I need. Like, these are only at Whole Foods, so when I run out of these, I'll go to Whole Foods. But I shop at Trader Joe's. I actually have a bunch of photos right now that I need to Trader Joe's.
Oh, Christ. See, I love Trader Joe's, but once I started, like, following and doing everything where you truly look.
Controversial.
Oh, there's shit in some of that stuff. And, like, their frozen food's so good, but it's not good for you.
No, Trader Joe's is cheap, healthy food. So when it's very cheap, you have to think about, like, what are they sacrificing?
You get what you pay for, people. It's in every aspect of life.
And just because it's organic doesn't necessarily mean that it's, like, free of fillers.
It could be an organic pesticide that they claim is organic. That's the other thing that...
you always want to do organic when you can when it comes to certain things, but you also have to look at the other ingredients involved because if it says organic in, like, the title or something, you have to be aware, like, they could add whatever. Like, to make something organic, it has to at least have 95% of organic ingredients. So that means the other 5% can be who knows whatever, what the hell, you know? So obviously when it comes to organic, you really want to look at our vegetables, our fruits, and our grains and our nuts. Like anything that comes from nature that's like grown, you always want to get it organic because pesticides, right? Like there's going to be less pesticides, like 95% less pesticides. So you're like, what's the point? It's like there is a point. There's a big point. Like you should see how animals and plants are grown without being organic. It's scary stuff.
It is scary, and it's
quality matters, and that's kind of like what irritates me now about a lot of like fitness accounts is because they only talk about calories in. Okay, this has 50 grams of protein, eat it, it's great. And then it's like
saying you can eat McDonald's and lose weight, if you take less calories in, but your organs are gonna die.
Like, it's just, that's the kind of thing that stresses me out. And like, it's not like I like to bring negativity to my account, but like I do have to call these accounts out when you have 500,000 followers and you're telling people, hey, it's okay to eat this protein powder, or take this protein powder, and half the ingredients are natural flavors, artificial flavors, there's dyes, there's fillers, there's preservatives, there's gums. Like,
oh, that's the one thing. I taste the difference. Like in the oat milk, which I used to drink, that you on one of your clean sweeps were like, no, don't drink that one.
I'm sorry.
No, but it made me think of it, and then I made my own at home because I was like, F this. Like at least now I know what's going into it. Although I didn't use organic oats now that I think of it. So
yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah,
it's okay.
But it tastes so different. Like it wasn't that coating on your mouth that the gum gives it, and I don't know.
Yeah, and gums are like big gut irritators for a lot of people. Sometimes they're like naturally derived, so obviously you can look at them at it from that. If it's like a good quality product, like you could tell like this is a good brand, it's a quality brand. But when you have like brands like Kraft and like Purdue, like
Nabisco,
they're using cheap ass products. They don't care about you.
Nestle.
They're using cheap ass products.
Also, I think if you were to go back and look at all of the true lawsuits against these like massive companies, I don't know how anybody is like, yeah, let your kids eat that, go ahead.
No, not at all.
Terrifying.
No,
I don't know. And then, see, now I'm just going off on tangents, like cleaning products even. I know you speak a lot about that as well.
This is probably my favorite topic because it affected me the most.
Yeah.
So obviously, like I suffered from chronic migraines for years, honestly. And it wasn't just due to, I mean, migraines, there's a lot of root causes, usually mineral deficiencies or hormonal problems, hormonal imbalances, which can be also caused by mineral deficiency. So it's like a big like loop-de.
I mean, it's true. You're a full system for a reason. Like everything affects everything else.
So to just look at calories in and calories out like doesn't make sense. But this is the part that really gets people, and I'm about to like nerd out for a second.
I know, I love it.
Because this is like mind blowing. Like this is because people are like, okay, how does a candle affect my health? And I'm like, oh, you really want to know?
Yeah.
Like you really want to know how a candle affects your health? I'll tell you right now. So for example, like they'll like, let's use like Bath and Body Works, such a popular one. And I'm sorry if you shop at Bath and Body Works, if you don't stop after this podcast, if you don't stop shopping from Bath and Body Works after this podcast, you either weren't paying attention or you just don't care. There's no in between. I'm gonna be real with you.
Oh,
blow that the hell out right now. So
yeah,
for example, they'll create this obviously keep in mind what like the FDA and how these companies work after I just explained. Like they run these like little studies and like, okay, it's safe. Okay, cool. So when you burn a candle, right, depending on the type of mixture that they're using, like the wax mixture, which is usually like a blend of like all different types of stuff. When you're burning it, it's now causing, it's causing a chemical reaction, and now you're inhaling it, right, for example. And this can apply to like any type of cleaning product, anything you spray, legit anything, like even makeup, just products we use in our house. So now you're burning this candle in your room, let's say every single night. You burn it before bed, you feel nice and toasty, you feel romantical. And now you're burning it and you're inhaling it and you realize you're getting, you know, poor sleep, right? Which is, it's totally possible. And why? Because those fragrances that they use are chemical fragrances, right? They created. If you watch the Netflix movie or documentary called Stink, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called Stink, and it's pretty much explaining how they spray our clothes. I know, it's clothes too. They spray our clothes with all these toxic chemicals, and that's why sometimes when you open up your clothes, they have like a weird smell. They spray your clothes with chemicals.
Your nose tells you when something smells like it's cancerous.
It shouldn't smell like that. So,
and they're like, wash before wearing. I'm like, that doesn't make me feel good. What the hell?
Exactly. So this guy is pretty much explaining his job, and his whole job is to mimic smell. So if you're like, hey, like gingerbread, for example, like obviously they're not baking gingerbread cookies and encapsulating it into this candle. No, they're creating this scent synthetically in a lab. Like this is literally this guy's job. It's a really cool documentary. So this is this guy's job. He creates that fragrance. They get it tested, whatever. They get it tested, whatever, because they obviously pay somebody to test it. And those chemicals, and they actually legally, if you go and ask them like, hey, what does the fragrance mean? They legally do not have to tell you because it is protected under something called the recipe law, because you don't want to steal their recipe of how they got that gingerbread smell.
You don't want to let everyone know that you're giving us cancer.
Exactly, the key word. So those chemicals can
this makes me angry.
irritate your hormones, right? So hormone disruptors are essentially chemicals that can mimic a hormone in your body, and it can link into that receptor. And now your body thinks, thinks like, oh, I'm actually getting this, but I'm not. And then there's clearly like a imbalance there. So as it's trying to pump that hormone, it can't get into that receptor. And now it's either creating too much or it stops creating it at all. And that's kind of how a hormonal imbalance happens from something like a candle. So that's kind of like the breakdown of that part. Yeah, so now you're lighting that candle at night, and then you inhale it, and let's say it is mimicking, you know, certain hormones that have to do with sleep, which a lot of hormones do. So like tryptophan is like one, that adenosine is another one. So these are all like little hormones that can like, you know, that can disrupt your sleep or better your sleep. So you're inhaling this candle, you're getting poor sleep every single night because it's a ritual for you have to light this gingerbread candle at night. It's your obsession. Now you're getting bad sleep. Now you wake up in the morning, you're groggy, you're fatigued, you're angry, so you're gonna go straight for your coffee, right? You're gonna go straight for your coffee. Coffee on an empty stomach increases cortisol, stress hormone. So now you're just fueling your body. It's like, when I say coffee on an empty stomach, for me, like the best way to explain it is literally just, would you press on the gas pedal with no fuel in the tank?
Yeah.
You wouldn't, right? So that makes no sense. So you don't want to stress out your body when it just woke up and it's ready to just take the day like nice and calm. You wouldn't do that. So you're ruining your gut health. So now you go from now you feel energized a little bit. Now you're going to go straight to the crappy food. Poor sleep also leads to, like scientifically, leads to food cravings.
I'm a queen of that, yeah.
Yeah, irregular blood sugar, poor digestion. So you're just going to be craving like crappy food throughout the day, and then you start the cycle again. You're about to go to bed, you light this candle. So imagine this over time, like, right?
And that's not even taking into consideration all of the other things that you're affecting your entire system with.
Exactly. So am I saying, oh, the candle is like, you get rid of the candle, you get rid of the candle, you're going to lose 30 pounds. Absolutely not. But I'm saying it can definitely help with any type of hormonal problems that you may be having throughout the day. Like I've had people who literally got rid of their headaches just from getting rid of burning candles in their house.
That's such an interesting point.
And that was what happened with me. Like when I started changing my cleaning products, like I don't use bleach or anything like that anymore. I don't use Clorox. I don't use Windex. Even during the pandemic, I don't use any of that stuff.
Kathy Fable, my mother, is going to slaughter me for this one, but I have this visceral reaction when she uses, it's like that Pine Sol, it's that yellow one. Not to mention, don't even get me started with, my mom doesn't put the correct amount in. She dumps like all of it and then a little bit of water, and I'm like, So it floats like upstairs, and there's a point where like I have to leave the house, or I'm just like open up everything. Like your body can tell when something smells that like is bad for you.
But think about how many people that don't realize that that's what's causing their discomfort. You know, like so many, like especially people who don't want to commit to changing their foods, because that can actually have like an emotional bond to it. Like changing foods is really hard.
Dude, I can't stop eating cheese. Like I know I should probably cut back on dairy, but I'm Italian. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough one. But yeah, cheese is like crack to the body. Like
no,
what
it's
it
literally
does.
same to your brain as cocaine.
Yeah. It's no joke. So yeah, like obviously I'm not saying that like getting rid of candles you're gonna lose 30 pounds, you're gonna look like a supermodel, but like I said, it can like seriously reduce like hormonal and endocrine disrupting chemicals in your household, which can lead to better sleep. And just like when you get better sleep, then you're not gonna binge, you're not gonna be as tired.
And that's the holistic view of it.
Yes.
You truly do have to look at things holistically, and that's another reason why I shouldn't say hate. Some doctors I don't feel are doing due diligence, because they're just like, here, yeah, take this medicine. And I'm like, but what's the reason?
Yeah.
Like my kidney numbers are elevated. What's the reason? Like you're just gonna.
Yeah, or like the ones that just kind of, and I have nothing against doctors. I think there's a place for Western and holistic medicine to kind of coexist, you know? Like I wholeheartedly, and I know people like come to my page and they're like, you hate doctors. I'm like, I don't hate doctors. Yeah. It's just like when I was on birth control, I went to 7 different doctors and they all told me I was fine. And I was like, but I don't feel even close to fine. Like I feel like crap.
Like, let me tell you. So I've been on it for 10 years, and this is something I've been literally talking about with my friends, with my mom, with everybody. And I'm like, I want to get off of it.
Wait, but what's your fear with getting off?
Pregnancy.
Yeah, people, and before they get into this, I think like birth control is so empowering, because it's like, I have control over my body. You actually have no control over your body. You have more control of your body being off of birth control, because you can actually tell somebody, like let's say you're single, right? Because this is a big fear. People are like, I'm single and I want to, you know, do what I want to do. I want to have fun, right? That's 100% your choice. Yeah. But imagine the power of being like, listen, I'm in an ovulating window right now. I don't plan on having kids. Do you? And if you don't, then we should use some sort of protection right now, or we should refrain. That's power. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm on birth control, fuck it. And then now you have a possibility that person can, that's 99% chance.
Yeah.
That 1%. I know people have gotten pregnant on birth control. One of my friends got pregnant on birth control. One of my
friends too. Cutest kid ever. But
we don't regret them. They're cute as hell. But like, come on, like it can't.
It was just
happen.
like, that's not happening.
But doing like fertility awareness method, which is like our natural rhythm, and like that's what I do. I just track my ovulation and I track my cervical fluid, and it's so empowering to me, because the conversations I get to have with my boyfriend are just that much more open. And it's like, hey, this is what's going on, this is how I feel, this is where I am in my cycle, like boom bang bang. So hey, I've been doing it 2 years, I have no problems.
I've been dating my boyfriend for like almost 8 years in November, so like for sure can talk about anything, but for me it was more of like getting off birth control was, I don't know who I am off of it.
Yeah, that's scary.
I don't know what my mind is off of it. And there are times, and probably, listen, I'm like a happy-go-lucky person. But ever since being on it, there are certain times where I literally am like either really sad or really like angry, and just like you could say one thing to me and I snap, and I'm like, I know that's not me. Like I know to my core that's not me, but I can't control it. But in my head, I'm like, I know this isn't me, but you can't stop it, and that terrifies me. That kind of hormonal control terrifies me.
When I first got off, like when I was first like deciding to get off, I was in like a very, very abusive relationship, like physically, mentally, like super abusive. This is like 3 years ago, and I was like about to get off birth control because I was obviously dealing with this, and I was also dealing with migraines and fatigue, all this other crap and whatever. And the craziest thing was, everyone I knew was like, I've never had a toxic relationship in my life. I'm very like, my minor was psychology. Like I know
you're dissecting everything.
Yeah, like I know like this isn't me to be with somebody that is just treating me like absolute garbage. You know? So when people telling me like this isn't you, like why would you ever deal with this? This makes no sense. Yeah. And there actually is science that says like if you're on birth control, you can actually pick and deal with the wrong partners.
Yeah, because it changes things in your brain. And I was like, I don't want to believe that, but also
it's true. I'm not saying you're the wrong. I'm not saying. I mean,
no, but there is like, I mean, I could understand the science behind it.
Yeah, because it's also because it really does mess with certain hormones. You end up there's like a whole science behind it. But the whole thing was, as soon as I got off, 2 years with this person, almost 2 years with this person. As soon as I got off birth control, I dumped him like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. I literally, like dropped him off somewhere, left, and never spoke to him again.
I mean, that sounds like the way to do it.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, no, that is really the way to do it. Like, I highly suggest. 10 out of 10 would definitely do it again. No, but seriously, like that's the power of hormones and like.
Well, if you think about
in that fog.
Like even when you're not, like when I was never on hormonal birth control, and you have your period or something, and there are those spikes in hormones and. I know, like, your thing yesterday, cravings are for certain reasons, but those hormones, like, imbalancing or, like, changing levels, it does affect you. So to think 100%. That a synthetic hormone wouldn't affect you in a same and probably worse way is just ignorance.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been on it for 10 years, so
a lot of people get really defensive with birth control because they're like, well, I have this and I have this. Like, I have PCOS, and my doctor said this is the only way I could live. Is on birth control. I'm like, that's actually the most false statement I've ever heard. And like, please, if you're someone with PCOS, DM me because I have so many resources for you to do it naturally. And like, you'll actually be way better off because for a lot of people, PCOS is like, well, you're never gonna have kids, you're not gonna be fertile, blah blah blah, all these things. You're gonna have painful periods or no period forever.
Sorry, I have no idea.
It's polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Gotcha.
So it's a very common. Actually, many women have it. I actually think 40% of women.
Jesus.
Something high like that. I don't know the exact, so don't quote me on that. But there's a big amount of women have it, and it affects them, and it can lead to infertility. Usually, like, the main symptom is you have no period whatsoever.
And that's the other thing. I have friends that are on birth control, and they're like, I haven't got my period since I was 14. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you think's what do you think's in your, like, happening in your body? You're supposed to get rid of that every month, and now you never have for years?
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually so bad. It really worries me. Or the other thing is, even like if you have PCOS and certain things, wouldn't you want to try to remedy it before you get onto like another medicine or something that you're relying on?
Like, PCOS is completely manageable off of
like birth control.
Yeah, it's completely manageable. So it's just like, why are doctors telling us that we can't? Like, why do we need this pill that hasn't been updated since the 60s?
Also,
like, all this technology, we haven't updated this pill once. Like,
it's a meme, but why are you giving it to the women? Like, give it to the dudes.
Facts. I will sign that petition.
It's that whole meme with the, like, bullets and a gun and whatever. But, like, I don't know. It's just so frustrating.
Yeah, and it's crazy. You know what's so funny is they tried to give it to men, and they said there was too many side effects.
No, they also said that they wouldn't, or like they wouldn't have to take it every day. Like, they shouldn't have to, like, add.
So you're telling me right now we're the more responsible ones? I never want to hear shit ever again.
I mean, I feel like that was already kind of
like yeah, no. It's a lot of women are just very defensive over it, and I get it. I've been literally crucified over saying that you do not need to be on birth control as a woman to have a healthy period. Like, birth control bill does not regulate this is a very controversial episode, but you do
it needs to be talked about, though.
Birth control does not regulate your period. Doesn't have that power. If they did have that power, everyone should be on it. We'd all be chilling. We would never have period problems ever
That's again. The only upside is you know exactly the day, and I know the time when I'm going to get my period. But other than that, like, I would hate.
But you're not even getting it.
But no, I mean, like, some people, like, don't, like.
No, you.
Well, yeah, it's true. It's not the truth. Okay.
That's just the.
Wow. Okay.
That's just a withdrawal bleed. Mm-hmm. So you can't actually get your period on the pill because you're not ovulating. Ovulation is what creates your period. If you're not ovulating because your body thinks it's, like, technically pregnant or, like, whatever.
Because it tricks your body into thinking it's pregnant.
Yeah, essentially, in a nutshell, you can't get a period. So that is literally your body just withdrawing from the pill. Yeah, it's actually disgusting, and they won't tell you that. Yeah, it's actually nasty. For me, there's nothing, now being off of it for almost 3 years now, there's nothing empowering about it. Like, I feel more empowered now as a woman. Even if I was single, I'd feel more empowered now.
I just think to not have anything like hormones disrupting your actual, like, brain and your body, I just don't understand. Like, I got on it before I was ever into, like, health. Like, I was 16. I was healthy as hell. Yeah. I was, like, running all these sports, everything, like, never had cramps. Like, I didn't do it for any of those reasons. Maybe a little bit of acne, but, like, Jesus Christ, I still break out. So, like, fuck you, birth control. You didn't even help me there.
You didn't do shit. I want my money back.
Yeah, right? What the fuck? So, I don't know. Oh, God. Anyways, I mean, I would love to, like, we could do another episode, like, fully on this.
Oh, yeah,
but
totally.
what you were saying is, like, you...
It's such a deep... I could do, like, a full episode just on, like, toxins and just on birth. It's, like, such a big...
We should, because I don't want to, like, gloss over anything, but you did mention something that I want to touch on.
It's my first time, guys. I just want to get everything done.
I just want to talk and talk
about everything.
Listen, I can talk for hours, so...
Yeah, me... Oh, you're with the wrong chick, because I could do the same.
So, I definitely... You mentioned about how you've been crucified. What is the biggest pet peeve you have with social media? Because like putting all of this out there, and sure, like you said, it's controversial. I mean, it really shouldn't be, but you are going against what a lot of, you know, doctors will tell people.
Yeah. My biggest pet peeve with social media, that's a tough one, because like a lot of things don't really irk me. What irks me is the most, like I kind of like touched on earlier, was just you have these big accounts that are just causing more damage, and
making money from it,
and making
like it's a cash
so much money off of it. Like I literally never do this, but I was like, not trolling this girl, but I commented. I was being honest. Like she did this like 10 days asking a personal trainer and nutritionist health questions, and I followed her because of it, because she actually had some really good points. I'm not gonna lie, she had some really good points, and I was like, oh cool, like I like following like-minded people, right? So she had some really good points, and then the 10 days finished, and I was like, okay, like what's next, like what's happening? And the first thing she did was she responded to a question about her supplements, and I was like, oh well, that makes sense, because that's a marketing tactic. Like 10 days of nutrition advice, this is the supplement that I use.
Buy it.
The supplement was First Form, and it's a very popular fitness brand.
I've heard of it. I know people use it.
I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is gonna apply to First Form, Alani Nu, Woman's Best, all those like big brands. This applies to all of them. It's filled with gums. It's filled with natural flavors. She's like, this cured my IBS. I'm like, how? When it's filled with gums, fillers, and natural flavors.
Things that would be inflammatory.
Literally things that hurt your gut and your and on top of that, heavy metals. So heavy metals alone disrupt your body, and green powders are jack full of heavy metals. And I literally commented, I was like, how are you going to advocate for health and nutrition and fitness, and you're promoting such a cheaply made product? Like, how are you doing that? And a lot of people actually, I think I had over like, I don't comment a lot on TikTok, so I don't know if this is a lot, but I had like
this was on TikTok. Dude, TikTok's scary.
And I had like 300, and you can't even write a lot. That shit's annoying. But like, I had like 300 likes on that thing, and she commented back. She goes, it's actually an organic product. And I was like, girl, it's literally not. Like, I looked at the ingredients in it. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna comment blindly. Like, I went in her thing because I trusted her. I went in her bio. I clicked on the greens powder. I looked at the ingredients. I was like, added sugar, filler, natural flavor, not organic. High levels of heavy metals. Like, do you want me to get the certificate of analysis? Because I will, you know. But it's like, it's stuff like that really, and there's so many comments like, oh my god, I just bought this, and I'm like, oh my god, you're like, hurting,
you're all
yourself.
Gonna be screwed.
Yeah, like you're all hurting, and it really does pain me, because I was that trainer, because I didn't know better, right? Like, I did not know any better, and now it's like I want to advocate so hard for really getting people to their healthiest self.
Exactly. And I think it's just in feeling better, like, and not just losing weight. It's in feeling better, like, across the board, because it affects so many different things.
I think I just said this on my rant yesterday. I do a lot of rants on Instagram.
You guys have to follow her. It's so
I do a lot of rants on Instagram.
I love it.
But this one was about just like, if you start eating healthier, your body will go to its optimal weight. Yeah. Like, stop focusing on weight loss. Focus on just being healthy. Your body
like what you're putting in your body.
Yeah, your body will shed the weight that it needs to shed. It's really as simple as that. So when we focus on just losing weight, we forget about all the other systems in our body that also function.
I think we forget that our bodies were like made perfectly. Do you know what I mean? They're made to function perfectly without like updates, without any of that
all
shit. So when we started adding things in, and it's like, no, don't eat that fruit, eat this synthetic sugar protein bar that's so much better for you. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, no.
I will literally argue to the death on this, because I shouldn't say names. I know someone in my family that had like a sugar thing, and she's like, well, my dietitian or the endocrinologist or whoever said not to eat fruit because there's too much sugar, but to eat protein bars, those are okay. And I was like, added sugar from brown rice? Like, what are you, please tell me in what world, like, an apple with the fiber, like eating the whole apple is gonna be worse for you than like a protein bar.
Yeah, never.
But it's like people literally like, well, no, a doctor told me so.
My doctor, I'm like, I want to see what your doctor looks like.
Well, no, but that's the other thing. I actually know the doctor. Like, the doctor looks fine, but I'm just like, what are you telling people?
Yeah, it's a mess.
You know how
But
easy it is to carry an apple and carry a protein bar? It's the same. Just, they're encased in what they should be. Like, chuck the protein bar, apples, you're
but
good.
also doctors don't get a lot of nutrition education compared to like a naturopathic doctor who gets like majority of their learning is nutrition, where a doctor, I think it's actually they only get 24 hours, which I think is either 1 or 2 semesters.
Just crazy.
It's like you're telling me you went to med school for like 8 years and you only did 1 or 2 semesters of nutrition when nutrition is like everything. That's crazy to me.
I don't know. I definitely subscribe to at least looking at it holistically and think about what you're eating and like
what you're eating, what you're ingesting, what your stress looks like, what like your toxin exposure. Like that's my favorite one because it's like everything has toxins, like everything that we're surrounding ourselves with, like what we clean. Like
not gonna lie, these microphones had a California warning on them that there's something in them.
Oh my God,
she's like, check them. No, but that's what I mean, like everything.
Yeah, everything. So obviously we can't minimize it completely because we have to go out and we have to do things. But like if you can at least minimize it in your household, the inside air of your house is actually more polluted than outside.
Yeah, that's why I have an air purifier, baby.
All the things we spray and clean, and it's just cook with, like cooking fumes and things. Like I change my filters all the time. Like you have to.
I just changed my filter in my air purifier and I wanted to vomit. It was like black.
It's disgusting.
It was black, and I was like, oh. Yeah,
I changed my like I cleaned my like cooking, like the cooking grill. Yeah. That thing was like grease and oil. I'm like, oh my God, this is like everything being like burnt alive. Disgusting. Yeah, it's like little things like that. I'm like, ugh. I just get the ick once I like see it, and but it's a process, honestly. It's like I always tell people, I'm like, start slow. Start with one room. Yeah. I feel like the bathroom is the easiest for me. That's where I started. The bathroom, like I cleaned out all my bathroom products. I got like a new body wash, new shower stuff.
You were talking about clean makeup, and I'm thinking as I'm getting ready for this podcast, I'm like, what shit am I putting on my face right now that's gonna just make me feel like death later?
Yeah. Makeup is big too, because actually I just freaking posted today Estee Lauder. It was for breast cancer awareness. I literally just posted that, and it was like Estee Lauder was doing a campaign for time to end breast cancer, and then someone went on the Think Dirty app and they posted the ingredients, and one of the ingredients in that product that they were promoting, there was a study that linked that chemical to breast cancer. So it's like, how are you promoting end breast cancer with a product that is linked to breast cancer?
It's terrifying.
How are you doing that? How are you allowed to do that is what's crazy to me.
I mean, it's definitely concerning.
And I don't shop at Sephora no more.
No, I literally, I just ordered new eye patches. I probably shouldn't have.
Organic Bunny, Detox Market, Clean Market.
Yeah, I gotta start.
Those are like the 3 main spots that I shop at. The Organic Bunny is like my favorite because if you follow her, she's like, you think like I'm big on toxic. She is like, she'll test this product out for like 4 weeks before she even puts it on her site. Like she's no joke.
Damn.
So she's like really good. And it ships so fast. I get it in like 2 days. So her, like I know that anything.
Does she do makeup or what?
It's all makeup, bath products, everything. Like I get all my like body oils, body scrubs, everything on my face I've gotten from her site.
Yeah,
literally everything.
I really need to make some changes in that department as well.
That one I just say like, because makeup is expensive.
Oh yeah.
So I always say like, as you run out of something, just buy a new one.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish using my NARS bullshit.
Yeah, like when you get like once your foundation runs out, and it's good because if you email her, she'll match you. So if you're like, hey, I use like the NARS whatever color.
Oh, that's awesome.
She'll like be like, okay, this is like the closest color foundation.
Gotta go follow her now too.
Yeah, no, Organic Bunny, she's great. Detox Market. They also have a Clean Market in Manhattan.
Oh really?
That you can visit. Yeah.
I gotta go.
That'd be cool. Let's go. I'm down.
No, we should do it. I was actually thinking I have to go grocery shopping right after this, and maybe not today, but another day. Like we should go do one of your clean sweeps and like I'll put it on my channel.
Oh
and
my
like
God, I'm so down. That'd actually be really fun.
Just to like,
I haven't done that yet.
So
That'd
funny
be fun
because
to do it with somebody else.
Yeah, and like talk through it. It's just so much. Like I'm realizing obviously you can't do it with everything all the time. Like if you go out to eat. So what do you?
I definitely pick and choose.
Yeah. Sorry, some of these are like.
Someone goes, like, I don't know who this girl is.
Someone goes, why does she look like you? I mean,
oh my God, do you think?
We could be maybe like cousins.
Yeah, I feel like we could pass as cousins.
God. What was the biggest turning point in your life that made you switch from PT to holistic? We kind of touched on that.
Yeah, because I'm still a PT. you know.
Yeah.
I still take I still like host classes and stuff on like virtually, but yeah, we already touched kind of a little bit on that.
Yeah. Sorry, Ives. We talked about that. Who's your favorite person at Lifetime? That's Kate's question.
Oh, and not Kate's.
Oh, Ives.
Love her though. Seriously, love her. She like gets me whenever I post something. She's like, "Girl, same." And I'm like, "Yes, you know."
She's just a wonderful
if you know,
human being.
You know. Yeah, I love her.
How to lose belly fat fast.
Oh my God. You know what's funny? Like, even if I told you, most people won't even do it. Because it's so easy, but so hard at the same time. Like, you want to lose belly fat? I'll give you 3 things. Start eating real food. Go to sleep at a decent time. Mm-hmm. And get out and move every single day.
Oh, this is my other question, but that was perfect. I was going to say, if you had to boil down all of your holistic knowledge and training,
it's those 3 things.
Like, what are 3 tips? Like, your 3
for literally anything. Like, you want to lose belly fat, you have to move every single day. You have to eat real food, not like supplements and protein.
Yeah, and like shit in
and
packages.
You have to get good sleep. Stop going to bed at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
I feel like you're attacking me. No.
That's for you.
No, really. When I edit, I stay up way too late.
You have blue light blockers?
I just got them.
Oh, I love you for that.
I know. I had them and I stopped using them, and yeah, long story.
Yeah, you have to commit.
Yes, and wear them all the time. Mm-hmm. Okay. How are love handles formed, and how do I get rid of them?
Ooh, love handles, it can actually be estrogen dominance. So we want to look at getting rid of BPA. You know, are you microwaving your food in plastic? Are you getting a lot of plastic packages, saran wrap? Are you eating a lot of canned foods?
A lot of soy.
Yeah, soy too. Canned foods, also the lining of cans, like soups and things like that, can have BPA. So look for.
I didn't know that.
So get it in like a box. So you definitely want to look at estrogen. I wouldn't be shocked if you also have like estrogen. I don't know if that's a girl or not.
Guy.
Oh, it's a guy? Okay, so probably, I was going to say maybe you have bad periods. But usually women who like store fat. So if you store fat in your arms, in your like love handle area, your thighs, your like lower belly fat, that is usually estrogen dominant. So we always want to look at BPA and just eating, optimizing our liver, like detoxing our liver, making sure we're not riddling it with alcohol and a lot of crap. Also eating a lot of carrots.
Really?
Carrots bind to estrogen. And you poop it out.
So you don't want to eat a lot of carrots?
No, you do.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
I'm going to go buy some carrots.
Yeah, like literally like a carrot salad.
Really?
Like you just kind of like, what is it called? Like peel it. Into
like shave them, yeah.
Yeah, like shave it into a bowl and just eat it, or you could just eat a carrot like that. But yep, I read that. This one girl I follow, she's like big on that. She's like, she studies period health, and she said like carrot things.
That's so interesting.
That could also help. But if you're a guy, yeah, I definitely want to look at that, and also just getting rid of toxins, that BPA, get rid of those candles, get rid of those cleaning products, make the switch, and then obviously move and work out.
Yeah, and like eat real food. I think that's probably the number one thing that people don't do.
The basics.
Yeah, because that's the hardest thing to get over. Like, you got to kick the habit of eating dessert after meals. I'm just talking to myself right now. Yeah. Like dessert after meals, and like going for, I never ate fried food, and I went on a road trip back in September, and
I peeped, obsessed.
There was just so many. Oh yeah, no, that's great.
Invite me, I'm down.
Let's do it, and we'll do a whole thing about eating properly. I'm actually pissed
you went to Wyoming without me.
Favorite state, new favorite state. It was the first time I've gone, and I've always wanted to go back there now.
Okay, so I'm going back and you're coming. I don't care.
We're planning
because I want to go so bad. I want to go to.
And
the
we'll
Midwest.
find healthy food while road tripping. 'Cause it was near impossible. Like, we'd go. Well, okay, that's a lie. It wasn't that bad. It's just like when my friends were like, "Oh, we're going to Arby's." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll eat something." Never had it before. I was like, "I'll try it." And I was like, "That's pretty good," but I feel like death,
dude.
So
actually, I'm gonna tell a story because it's gonna be so relatable, like similar to that. So obviously, I went. So not obviously because not everybody saw, but I went away this weekend for a friend's birthday. So. We were on a party bus for like 4 hours, and everyone was like dying of starvation, and we're in like literally in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, so we had to stop at McDonald's. So I just ate, like, obviously I don't need dairy or cheese, so I just ate like without cheese. I just got like a hamburger, like a regular hamburger, and chicken nuggets. I couldn't even finish it because automatically my stomach was like
oh, I will say that is the one thing, like, listen,
but sometimes you just have to, like, there's no other, like,
no other
it was either McDonald's, Taco Bell, or KFC, and I'm like,
or like almonds in a gas station, which that would be my
I was like dying of, and I'm not gonna be that asshole that's like, I only eat organic.
I need to go find somewhere else.
No, I also know how to detox and take care of my body. So like I eat very healthy, and I'm very on top of my game. I want to say like 98% of the time. Like that's a very tiny moment where I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, no, I will say the one thing is like I'm also a foodie, which makes it hard to eat super clean, because going to restaurants is one of my favorite things to do.
I know, I love it too.
Also, I had mentioned cheese, but it's one of those things where it's like I will never understand people's affinity for McDonald's, for fast food. Like, and I mean,
it's
like,
crack. That's why.
That has to be what it is.
No, they literally put chemicals in it that are made to be overconsumed.
That has to be what it is.
It's
you
true.
know what?
Like,
I was talking to my friend. We went on a road trip. It was 5 hours in Pennsylvania and 5 hours home. We stopped at like a Chick-fil-A, and I was like, wow, actually this is good. Like I could eat the spicy sandwich really without feeling, you feel like shit, but like it tastes better. Yeah. But I will say, like, even McDonald's, I was like, you couldn't pay me to eat that. Like I don't enjoy it. It doesn't taste good. I don't know if it's because I was raised like with like too good food. Like I don't know what it was.
There was like some lady on TikTok that like saved her hamburger, her McDonald's, her McDonald's Big Mac, I think, or cheeseburger, and it was like literally like 30 years later, and it was still in perfect.
That's
didn't mold,
disgusting.
Nothing. I'm like, they definitely put like plastic in it, and
but that's what I mean. Like, no, it's proven. The chicken nuggets are like literally that pink slime.
I posted it a while ago. I have to find it.
It blows my mind because people will like
it's gross.
Defend it. Be like, I love McDonald's. I'm like, can't you love something that's real food, like and fried?
It's an addiction.
Like fry some zucchini. It tastes just as good. It's
literally an addiction. Like people don't understand. Like this is another thing. Like when fitness influencers just go like, all right, just restrict your calories and only eat these things. It's like imagine telling a crack addict to just stop doing crack.
It's like telling me to stop eating dessert. There's just the sugar.
Like it's very hard. It's emotional connection. So that's why like someone like me, like I really have to go in and be like, all right, what's really happening in your body? Like what's actually happening with this addiction that you're having. It's not
truly
just
an addiction.
It's not just stop eating it. It's not just like, all right, we're only gonna eat this many calories. Like it's not that freaking easy.
It's
Imagine if it was, we'd all be healthy. What the hell?
I know. And honestly, I think the like readily available fast food on every corner everywhere is a huge reason America's shot.
Oh, obviously, we suck.
How do you assess your clients and track their progress?
Usually people just like, I have a few clients now, and they'll just tell me like, yo, I just feel like I feel like I have so much energy. That's always the first one. Like when we go through the protocol, because everyone's obviously different. Everyone has a different schedule. Everyone has a different setup, how their day, have a different problem. But always the first thing, people are always like, I have so much freaking energy. Like I didn't even know I had this much energy. Like I've had people who are like, I didn't even need my coffee this morning. I'm like,
that's what I love to hear.
I'm a proud mama, you know? Yeah, like that's exactly what I want, because you don't want people to rely on supplements to just feel like a human.
Yeah, my parents are both coffee addicts. Like if they don't have coffee first thing in the morning, you don't talk to them. It's terrifying. Yeah, they'll bite your head off, and common. That scares me too. Like anytime you're that reliant on something, that does scare me.
It's an addiction, but people think like, oh, because I don't get like, you know, I'm not, you know, hurting anybody. It's not a problem.
Like it's not crack, so it's fine. I'm like,
Yeah, no, it's still really, and it's those things will kill you in different ways, right? Like if you're overdosing on you can overdose on a real drug, but like things like sleep problems, like a lot of sleep issues are linked to Alzheimer's and dementia.
But my dad had sleep apnea, so like he like wasn't breathing every 30 seconds while he slept or something. Wow. And my mom was like, no, like you're snoring, it's whatever. So made him go to the doctor, and now he has a CPAP machine, and like his blood pressure used to be high, it's lower. Cholesterol used to have like some weird lower, like all because they fixed the sleep issue.
Yeah,
so it's another thing. It's like
oh my god, and that's the thing is like telling people to sleep is like, oh, people are so addicted to their phones they don't even know how to sleep anymore.
Dude,
I'm like, if you can fix your sleep, you'll fix a lot of your problems.
Okay, so when you wake up, what's the first thing you do?
Oh, always fix my bed.
But like, you don't pick up your phone?
No, normally I don't. No.
God bless. I gotta stop that.
My alarm will go off, and I'll just like turn
leave
off
it
my
and
alarm.
get up.
Yeah, leave it. I'll obviously fix my bed, brush my teeth, blah blah blah. After I do all that, then normally I'll go to my phone, which I'm actually, some days I won't even touch it till after breakfast. But I have so much going on these days that I'm like, as soon as you know, like I'm done with my little
Yeah, I start posting my breakfast like a basic bitch, and I'm like, you shouldn't be touching your phone.
Yeah.
One other thing, I don't even know if we're gonna get to the rapid fire because I genuinely have such better questions for you.
Oh, okay, cool.
And normally I'm like, oh, let's talk, because it's like pancakes, waffles, like it's like funny, like silly things.
Got it.
But whatever.
I'm always down.
Yeah, we might do that too. But what? Oh my god, I just forgot what I was gonna say. We were talking about getting up. Oh, the one thing that I definitely took away, and I've noticed I always feel better when I do this, but from your Instagram, and you have your own Instagram filters, the whole free medicine with being in the sunlight in the day when you can, like getting outdoors. Like if you can just eat your breakfast outdoors or drink your coffee outdoors if that's what you need. But
see, like my thing with the free medicine thing, and I always talk about it, always, especially in the summertime, because it's so much easier. Because like now winter, it's a little bit harder, not impossible, but a little bit harder. It's not really winter, but fall. But I got a lot of like backlash because people always want to come and be like, not everyone can eat organic, not everyone can do this, not everyone can do that, it's so expensive to do this. And I'm like, those sound like excuses, because I do offer so many free things. I offer literally free advice. I offer free help, and it's like all the free medicine, like sleeping, going to bed at a decent time is free. Like
that's just you doing it.
That can literally prevent neurological degenerative diseases just by sleeping properly. So you can literally save your own life just by sleeping, which is free. Like I'm not here to sell people supplements and be like, all right, well, you have to take, also taking melatonin to go to bed is actual shit.
Terrifies me. I mean, granted, thank God I can fall asleep on a dime. Like I can literally put my head down, wait 10 seconds, I'm out cold.
That's good.
But that really does scare me.
That's also why you don't need caffeine, because you're actually sleeping.
That's such a good point, because I really don't rely on it at all whatsoever.
Yeah, like I'm sure if you ask like anyone who's addicted to caffeine how they sleep, they're like, I sleep all right. I'm like, that's why you need the caffeine, and then your body's not making
your adrenal glands are just shot. Yeah,
your cortisol, stress hormone. Like, are you gonna take a nap when you're being chased by a tiger? No, you're not. Your body literally thinks it's like it's fight or flight, right? So your body literally thinks it's being chased by a tiger ancestrally.
Since I don't drink coffee, when I do, on the off chance, like when on the road trip, I was like, you have to drive 5 hours back and have to be alert. Like I drank a cold brew, I felt wasted. I actually felt like drunk. I was like, oh my God. And we were talking, and like I start talking about things that like I normally probably wouldn't.
That's literally me. Like my boyfriend will know when I've had caffeine, because he's like, what the heck is wrong with you? Like, what asylum did you just come out of? And I'm like,
literally, I go nuts, and I go, Mom, Dad, like I literally feel crazy right now. And they were like, we drink that every day.
Pre-workout too. Like I'm also like not.
Do you take pre-workout?
So it's complicated. I'm at a place where I can successfully and in a healthy manner take pre-workout where it's not, I don't need it. But in the fitness community, it's a big thing to take it every time you work out. I feel like if you need it every time you work out, we're not addressing underlying issues.
Yeah, you should have enough energy to go.
Like think about it. Our ancestors were out here chasing bison and shit. At food, they had all the energy. Why? Because they're following their circadian rhythm, they're getting good sleep, they don't have blue light like blocking their, so it's like you shouldn't need pre-workout to get a good workout in. Now, you know, since I have pretty healthy levels, I get good sleep, I get all these things, sometimes I use a very clean pre-workout from Aura Organics that I really like, and it is all natural, and I like it because it gives me a natural boost, and it just really helps blood circulate better. That's really what, you know, pre-workout helps do, but it doesn't give me that jitter, it doesn't have a stimulant or anything. So I am now successfully in a place where I could take pre-workout safely,
and it just helps you, right?
Yes, and it doesn't disrupt me in any way, shape, or form. I could take it, and it's a safe thing to do. So that's where I'm at in life right now. But do I when people are like, hey, what pre-workout do you take? I'm like, how are you sleeping?
Yeah. It's like, whoa.
Like, I'm not going to just be like, all right, like, I mean, I don't have a code for them, but I'm not just the person to be like, here, just use my code, like, just buy it. Like, no, I always have to see, like, what's the reason you want to take it?
Yeah.
Is everything else in line?
That's a really good point.
Yeah. I always do that. I'm not like.
Sometimes I drink black coffee as pre-workout, now that I think of it.
Black coffee is good though,
but I work out on empty stomach, so like it's probably not.
That's shit. Yeah. Now we go back.
Yep. Now we're taking steps back. Damn.
Yeah, but coffee is great. It has great antioxidants. Yeah. The problem is you're getting low quality coffee from like Starbucks.
Yeah. Well, actually, we make it here.
But well, not you, but just people in general. Like they wake up and they go straight to Starbucks.
And in fact, like you're not supposed to have something super sweet first thing in the morning.
No.
Ever, because you're setting up your entire gut.
Warm or hot.
Hot lemon water. What is your opinion on putting cayenne in lemon water?
Oh, it's great. It helps stimulate lymph.
It's not too much
movement.
too like.
If you can handle it, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a delivery.
Oh my god, that scared me. I was like, what are you looking at?
He was like running up.
I know. I was like, oh my god. Oh guys, he's gonna hit the. Please don't hit the door.
No, he didn't. He left.
Ah, God bless.
What a great guy.
Oh shit, he's trucking it.
He's in a rush.
Hey, better than a sedentary job, honestly. I'd rather do that than sit at a desk.
100%. Here we are.
Granted, here we are, and I'm gonna go edit this on my computer for 4 hours after. So
it's gonna be so good. I'm excited.
No, I'm excited. Is there anything else that you would like to leave everyone with?
Oh my god, I don't. I feel like we touched on like legit everything, but I guess
I know
like,
I was real excited.
Obviously, if people want to know more, they could like. I'm always answering my DMs. I am teaching classes all of November.
I'm trying to get her to post more on YouTube because
I was posting on YouTube for a while, but for some reason, like I don't know, I was really trying to focus on like my IG stories more. Like IGTV is like popping out, and then Reels. It's like I can't keep up. There's so many.
Are you on
things to
TikTok
upload.
too?
Not really. I just like make it on
TikTok
TikTok and then I send it and then I upload it to my Instagram.
Reels
I'm a cheater.
Reels is better, I think. That's only because I've had more success on Reels. I have no success on TikTok, so I'm like, I hate it.
Yeah, I have no success on TikTok. But then the same ones, if I upload it to Instagram, blow up. I get like 5,000-6,000 views. I'm like, what the hell?
I know.
Or like even 10,000. I had more than, I think one of them was like 15,000 views.
Yeah,
like,
my
what?
Halloween one is great. Oh, wait. That just made me think. So I paint my face for Halloween a lot. That shit probably is tons of chemicals.
Dyes, all that stuff. But you know what? I don't really like.
It's like one day.
It's one day. For me, like it's like people are like, "What are you gonna do on your wedding day?" I'm like, I'll probably just use whatever the freaking lady has. Like,
no, and that's a good point. It's more of like habits, like habitual changes, not a one-off Halloween.
Exactly. I'm not gonna be like, I only use organic paint for Halloween. It's like I don't freaking
I was
care.
so excited to meet you because, like, granted, from what I've seen online, like even her own phone case that she designs, it says it's organic. So I wonder if you were truly like, no, like I don't.
No, I'm totally like
realistic.
This is my lifestyle.
You're realistic.
Yeah,
okay,
this is my lifestyle. I'm not gonna be like a crazy person about it.
No, I was prepared for it to go either way.
Yeah,
I think that's a lot of people that.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people that don't meet me. And it's funny because like even with like I have family, like obviously my family jokes around with me, like we're such jokesters. So they'd be like, don't eat that, that's not organic. Or like they'll see me eating something that's like not healthy at all.
Birthday cake.
Yeah, like it'll be someone's birthday. Yeah, it's my birthday. They'll like see me buying like eating something like at a party or like whatever and be like, oh, you're eating that, and I'm like, yeah, because it's called it's my life.
Yeah, it's like I'm already set every like you said 98% of the time.
I don't have to worry about like not eating something at a restaurant or like at someone's birthday. Like I'm not gonna be a bitch and be like, oh, your cake's not organic, so I can't.
So I'm not eating that.
Yeah, like what? Like how would I look? I look like such a bougie asshole.
Well,
like,
I was just curious because like I mean you have the right to, it's your own body and everything.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be crazy about it.
There is
either.
a line that I think is a little much. Yeah,
because honestly, the stress of not doing things is gonna kill you way before that food will.
Was that you that had to? Did you put that on your story yesterday?
I don't know about yesterday, but I've definitely said that before.
Or somebody? Oh no. It was a podcast. It was a new probably Joe Rogan. Well, we talked about that, but it was someone on Joe Rogan, and he's like, the stress of you worrying about like, should I eat this fast food at this rest stop, but I don't have other food, but what is it gonna do to me? But oh my god,
what are people gonna think?
It's like no, just eat it and then keep moving on and be healthier your next meal.
Yeah, and that's why I don't worry about it because it's like I know
stress is like the
habits are set.
Stress is like the number one.
Stress is what kills people.
God.
Stress is what kills people. Yeah. You stress everything. Even when you're on a diet, people are like, oh my god, should I be eating blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
super stressed.
Get rid of the stress, baby.
All right. Now that we've touched on every tangent possible, let me know what you want Illy to come back and we'll do a full episode on specific topics. Make sure to go follow her on Instagram. If you'd like to, this one's still going, we're good. If you would like to support the podcast, you can go to anchor.fm/Layne Fable for as little as 99 cents a month or become a member on the channel. Really, any of the above. Thank you. I'm so glad you came.
I know, I'm so hyped. We finally did this.
All right. Love you guys. See you on the next episode. I could literally talk for forever.
Oh my God, me too.